Hej, witam wszystkich serdecznie, a my rozpoczynamy uniwersum Sherlocka Holmesa. Rozpoczynamy od gry Testament Sherlocka Holmesa. Jest to gra studia Frogwares, która nieprzerwanie pracuje nad tymi tytułami od 2002 roku. A my sobie przejdziemy kilka gier z tej serii. Już bez zbędnego gadania. Rozpocznijmy grę, nową grę. Akcja będzie się toczyła w 1898 roku w Londynie, gdzie głównym podejrzanym będzie sam Sherlock Holmes. Nie grałem w żadną grę z serii Sherlocka Holmesa, więc dla mnie to jest nowość. Nie ma tak jak przetwory, które leżą na strychu od 200 lat, bo zrobiła je kiedyś wasza praprababka i nie kazała nikomu zjeść, bo będą na święta.
Ow! Ah!
Ile ich? To jeszcze tam
What's
wejdzie.
this? No.
Aha, chyba czasy trochę bardziej współczesne i oni znaleźli portret Sherlocka? Doktor Watson i Sherlock Holmes, tak obstawiam. Bo Watson miał wąsa, zawsze. I jako fan i serialu, i obu serii Sherlocka Holmesa z Robertem Downey Jr. będziemy dociekliwie szukać rozwiązania sprawy. Ktoś mu wbił nóż w plecy, albo kołek.
Oh, look! It's a book! Maybe it's a book about pirates with a treasure map. No, I don't think so. I wish that I had seen through all your lies. Oh, start from the beginning, not the middle.
Aha, czyli to w ten sposób będzie prowadzone,
And so I
jako
decided
opowieść.
to pick up my pen to relate the most disturbing episode of my life thus far.
It all began early one morning in 1898, when Sherlock Holmes invited me to accompany him on a visit to the Marquis of Conyngham.
Tyżny Sherlock?
Watson, my dear fellow, we can now go and inform the Marquis that we have found the Samoan necklace, and very much faster than Inspector Baines, too, which pleases me.
Have you really solved the theft, Holmes? And so quickly?
I have indeed, Watson, and believe me, it was completely unnecessary to spread out all over London, as our friend Baines thought was best. He likes to boast that his methods are equal to mine, but once again the outcome has
No
contradicted
wiadomo,
him.
Sherlock jest najlepszy,
All these
Sherlock
years
jest
of accompanying
królem.
you upon your investigations, I thought that by now I should be reasonably capable of following your train of thought. But in this particular case, I must admit that I don't understand anything at all.
Ah, you see, but you do not observe, Watson. There lies
A
the
wy
difference.
którego
It is a matter of course.
doktora Strange'a, o Jezu, nie doktora Strange'a, tylko Sherlocka Holmesa lubicie? Postać grana przez Benedicta Cumberbatcha czy Roberta Downey Jr.? U mnie osobiście są chyba na równi. Aczkolwiek chyba jednak Robert troszeczkę wyżej.
Marquis of Conyngham arrives and unlocks the door using the sole key. A fire has started inside the room, but they have managed to arrive in time to put it out. It is at that moment that the Marquis realizes that the famous Samoan necklace, which had been safe within its glass cabinet only a few hours earlier, has now disappeared.
In order to explain, let us confirm my theory before the arrival of Inspector Baines.
Dobra, czas szukać wskazówek. sterujemy Sherlockiem Holmesem, samym Sherlockiem Holmesem, genialnym detektywem. No spójrz na rozbitą gablotę, dobra, no to idziemy.
This window was cut with a diamond. A clean, discreet piece of work.
Kiedyś
This is
diamenty
where
chyba
the
były
necklace
bardziej
was.
powszechne
See how tiny the hole
i
is, and
do
not
zdobycia,
one
teraz są
fingerprint
po
on the
prostu
window.
diabelnie drogie.
This window was cut with...
See how
Aha, dobra. Lewego okna. No też jest jakieś
a
zarysowanie.
mark undoubtedly made by a diamond. Someone tried to cut the glass, but he was interrupted.
Czyli to musiał być
Therefore,
ktoś,
the thief tried to escape through the window, but he was interrupted.
ewentualnie stworzyć
The
pozory.
windows are locked. They've not been forced.
No, to taki ala samouczek, ale nader przyjemny. Mamy ekwipunek. Oki, na podłodze policzą pianina leżą partytury.
Let
No.
us examine the crumpled scores that have fallen off the piano.
Czyli na narożni... O, jest coś.
These sooty prints were left by a tiny hand.
I don't understand why these music scores are covered with soot.
Że w kominku. Był.
The fire started here, just beneath the bell pull.
Whoever pulled the cord would have had his feet in the fire, unless it was pulled before the fire started.
To był Frankenstein, on się boi ognia. Na bank.
Strange. There are some objects here that have been knocked over.
Ktoś spanikował.
Footprints. You are not going to get on your knees to examine them.
There is
Nie
no need.
klęknę.
It is soot. The servants must have trodden in it while they were putting out the fire. Heading towards his chosen escape route, probably the window, the thief knocked over the stool, which then
I
caught
zaczął
fire.
panikować, dlatego nie
But
zdążył
why
wyciąć
didn't
ognia.
he try to put
Okna.
the fire out at once?
A candle. It must have fallen from the chandelier. These documents are not very interesting, even though they're addressed to the Minister of Maritime Affairs.
The Marquis himself.
I ja tam bym przeczytał. No. Co tu dużo mówić. Wszystko z Watsonem za chwilę porozmawiamy.
This draft screen makes an ideal hiding place.
As the theft was committed at night, I conclude that the thief hid himself behind the
W
draft
sumie nader
screen and
sprytniej
waited
sobie
until he
usiadł i
was
czekał.
alone in the room. Strange. There aren't any prints. Yet I'm sure that the thief hid here.
A może jednak nie?
Not very well kept, this aquarium. I can see a dead fish floating on the surface.
A co jeśli coś tam zostało wrzucone?
All the windows are locked. They've not been forced.
Poruszanie jest troszeczkę toporne, ale
What do
może
you
nie.
think, Holmes?
Let us search the room
Ale się
before the police
przyzwyczajmy.
get here. We might throw some light onto all this.
Jeszcze coś jest niezbadane. O!
The chest wasn't opened. The necklace wasn't in it.
When the servants arrived at the door, having been alerted by the bell, they saw evidence of the theft and the fire, but they didn't see the thief.
This door is very hard to force. The Marquis is the only person to have the key. The thief could not get out through here until eventually, when the door was opened by
Czyli,
the
że
servants.
to ktoś ze służby?
Ah, Mr. Holmes, you're already here.
Good morning, Inspector. You've arrived just in time.
Scotland Yard arrives like the cavalry. Always in the nick of time.
No i się nie lubili.
But I know that
Znaczy
case,
trochę lubili, ale
Mr.
tak nie za
Holmes.
bardzo.
Have you already solved the case?
It's possible.
We have retraced the thief's rather unusual footsteps. He is a true acrobat. But what I cannot understand is that when the servants entered the room, there was no one to be seen.
A może
An
był służbą
acrobat, perhaps, but an invisible one? I do not think
i
so.
wtopił się w tłum
The
podczas...
only explanation is that the thief escaped before the servants arrived. I don't know how, but there is no other way.
Half a point for the doctor, nil for the inspector.
I am pleased to see that you find the situation amusing, Mr. Holmes.
No obstawił na służbę. No tak
Explain.
jakoś...
Dr. Watson was correct.
Zawsze winny jest kamerdyner.
But he is mistaken about the nature of the acrobat. As for you, Baines, you're quite incorrect, as the thief was in the room when the servants entered.
Explain, for heaven's sake, Mr. Holmes.
Watson, how could a thief be missed in the middle of 8 men?
No tylko jeśli był ubrany tak samo.
Because he is very small? Stop teasing us, Holmes.
Exactly, because he is small. Small and remarkably
No,
agile.
dobra.
You're
Czyli
thinking
jednak nie.
of a monkey?
And a trained monkey at that, without a doubt. A Leontopithecus rosalia from Central America.
No na to nie wpadłem.
The animal had been hidden inside the room for several hours, calmly awaiting the signal from his master. Once night had fallen and the room was empty, a high-frequency whistle alerted the monkey that it was time to begin the procedure for which he had been trained. The monkey emerged from his hiding place and used the point of a diamond to open the glass cabinet and steal the necklace. He headed across to the window by the chimney, but knocked over the stool, which in turn knocked aside the fire guard.
Seria nieszczęśliwych
Started the
wypadków.
fire. The
Tak w
frightened
skrócie.
monkey jumped from the chimney by swinging from the bell pull, thus alerting the house servants. He then went to the window and began to use his diamond to cut a hole, but was interrupted by the staff trying to gain entry via the door, and he panicked again. He ran across the piano, scattering the music scores onto the floor, before hiding inside the chandelier, knocking over a candle. Finally, the servants and the monks entered the room, leaving the door open while they put out the fire. It was during the confusion that our agile little thief made his escape through the doorway.
Czyli nie było jej za kotarą.
A brilliant explanation. Bravo, Holmes.
And the necklace?
I can see it from here, my friends. It's right in front of us.
Został
We have
schowany.
searched the room from top to bottom, Holmes. How
W
were we
akwarium
unable
jest.
to find it?
Because we paid insufficient attention to the only victim of this
Rybę.
affair.
What victim? No one is dead?
Yes, Watson, a poor goldfish whose destiny was to die, crushed by one of the most precious necklaces in England.
The aquarium is just beneath the chandelier. I understand.
The little monkey had likely hung the necklace around its neck and lost it when he leapt from the chandelier. The jewels fell into the aquarium, where they remain now.
Chociaż mogłeś podwinąć rękaw już. No i cyk, mamy pierwszą sprawę rozwiązaną.
Marquis, here is your necklace, intact, just a little wet.
Mr. Holmes, this brilliant demonstration does credit to your reputation.
Thank you so much, Marquis. Do you wish to verify the authenticity of your jewel?
No, I recognize it. I have spent many hours admiring it, you know.
Good. I will return it to its box, and
Inspector, a bank has just been held up. You must follow me at once. Orders of
O,
Scotland
i
Yard.
mamy następną sprawę. Tym razem bank. Albo i nie.
Sirs, duty calls. My regards, Marquis. And well done again, Mr. Holmes.
there, the
Miło,
necklace
że
is in its
podziękowali.
box. We've lost enough time here. Let's go home, Watson.
Ah, very well, as you wish. A good day to you, Marquis.
With pleasure, gentlemen. And once again, thank you.
Tak, to chyba była jakaś gratyfikacja, nie? To nie było za darmo. Z czegoś trzeba żyć, no jednak pomoc pomocą. Mamy pierwszą sprawę za sobą.
this morning's newspaper. Holmes, have you read this article about you?
No, Watson, not yet, and I won't have time to.
Read it before you leave. It's outrageous.
If you insist.
Skandal? Co tam się wydarzyło? Ale to daj gazetę. Dom markizy Jasko Śledztwa został wczoraj zaproszony do rezydencji markizy, aby wyjawił swoje wnioski związane ze śledztwem prowadzonym po zaginięciu bezcennego samoańskiego naszyjnika. Należy przypomnieć, że dama wezwała detektywa, gdy policja wydawała się spieszona. No co? No to
Prince Woodville, French culinary expert and bagpipe player, might be our next king. That's not so shocking, my dear fellow.
You know exactly to which article I'm referring, Holmes. How can Farley dare to tarnish your reputation like that?
You know, Watson, that wherever glory walks, jealousy is bound.
my rozwiązaliśmy śledztwo,
As for
reszta
the
nas nie
forgery of the
obchodzi.
necklace, I suspect that we shall soon be enlightened in this regard. Come in, Inspector Baines, the door's open.
Znaczy, my go nie ukradliśmy, no.
Mr. Holmes, how did you know I was here?
You are one of our rare visitors who avoids the second to last step of the stairs, which creaks dreadfully. And if I add the clinking of the handcuffs at your belt, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit, Inspector?
Have you read that rag?
Inspector, I assume that you have the fake necklace with you. It's why you're here. Your superiors would like me to examine it.
Indeed. They would like you to confirm or deny putting this fake in the box.
Can't that wait?
Znaczy,
I must
mamy
go to the
świadka
house
chyba,
of
nie?
Lord Peregrine Maitland, the Bishop of Knightsbridge.
Inspector, can you explain this slander? Has the necklace of the Samoas really been replaced by a fake?
I don't know how the reporter got hold of the information, but it's true. About the necklace, of course. I wouldn't permit myself to question the integrity and honesty of
A,
Mr.
czy
Holmes.
się lubią?
The necklace
Fajnie.
is a forgery? Impossible! I saw the Marquis authenticated before my very eyes.
No właśnie,
before
no mamy
Holmes
świadka, no
returned
mimo
it to its
wszystko.
place.
Mr. Holmes, the Marquis believes Osmond Farley's theory. I shouldn't be surprised if the reporter isn't behind all this slander about you. He's a freelancer, well known for his explosive and subjective articles. In any case, the Marquis assures us that you were the last person to have the necklace in your hands.
Let's
Albo
return to the
autentyczny.
Marquis's house, Holmes. I'm sure that we'll have no trouble in taking apart this theory.
It is unnecessary. Such allegations collapse on their own, like one of Mrs. Hudson's soufflés. Let us leave the police to solve this problem and turn our attention to the matters in hand.
Perhaps you are right, Holmes.
And the Marchioness?
She is beside herself. Without the necklace, her marriage is compromised. It is the principal item of a young woman's dowry.
A, czyli po prostu bez tego już nic nie ma.
What a
No
lovely
fajnie.
marriage.
Cudowne małżeństwo, dokładnie, Watsonie. Lepiej bym tego nie ujął.
Forgive me for insisting, but don't you want to examine the fake jewelry?
Watson,
Ale
I
po
have
co?
an
Przecież jest
appointment,
fałszywy.
and it's out of the question that I arrive late.
It will only take you a couple of minutes. You really must quell the suspicions put forward in this appalling article. If you will allow me, Inspector?
Be my guest.
Very well.
Czyli, że co, że idziemy, czy że nie idziemy, bo w sumie nie wiem. Z tobą też mogę porozmawiać? Nie, z tobą nie mogę. Coś jest do wzięcia? Czy wychodzimy po prostu? O! Co tam jest? A, to jest ten naszyjnik, dobra, okej.
This pearl is too small. It is not in its place here. These three pearls are of poor quality.
Gorzej jak cały naszyjnik był fałszywy i po prostu
This
teraz
pearl is a different color.
to jest
Too many
próba...
defects. This necklace is a fake. This is nothing but a vulgar copy, and at a glance it would appear that the forger has intended for it to be seen as such.
How could we have been fooled by such a blatant imitation? I don't understand.
Yes, how is it possible? Holmes, do you have a theory about this?
I have absolutely no idea. You insisted that I examine the necklace, and I have done so. Now it is important that I keep my appointment. I'm sure, Inspector, that you will throw some light on this affair.
Holmes.
You may accompany me, Watson, if you care to do so.
Goodbye, gentlemen. I'll keep you informed as to my
Ale
inquiries.
właściwie to jest nasze mieszkanie, więc chyba też wychodzisz, nie?
You mentioned a bishop, didn't you? Are we going to his home?
Yes, the Bishop of Knightsbridge. I put his address on our map of London on my desk. Would you get it for me, please?
Będziemy się
All right, Holmes.
przemieszczać poprzez mapy? O ja, to tak też mogę?
Holmes's homemade analyzer. The work table, where Holmes analyzes.
Nie spodziewałem się sterować Watson. Bierz mapę.
I have found your map.
A, czyli w ten sposób będziemy podróżować. W sumie to jest przyjemne i łatwe.
The police? Already? How did you know?
May we see the Bishop of Knightsbridge?
Yes.
Nie policja, jaka
Yes,
policja?
of course. But come in.
What has happened, Reverend?
What?
I don't know. It was last night, I think. I only just arrived, and I have made this macabre discovery. My God, how horrible!
Ktoś
I
przewrócił
haven't called anyone. How did you
obraz?
know that?
Holmes, look!
O,
The Bishop, appallingly mutilated.
How dreadful.
Mutilated and killed. He was such a good man. How could anyone be so brutal? Look at him. He is barely recognizable now. How could any of God's children be responsible for that?
They were evidently unworthy children, Reverend. Now do please try to calm yourself and focus, because we will need your assistance. Do you have any idea as to the motive behind this?
I haven't had time to do an inventory, but nothing appears to have been stolen. And anyway, His Excellency...
czyli konkretnie chodziło o niego, pewnie coś wiedział.
I don't know what else I can tell you.
Note this down,
Wiedza
please,
jest
Doctor.
czasem cenniejsza od przedmiotów.
But you aren't the police?
No, Reverend. I am Sherlock Holmes, and this is Dr.
Jest
Watson.
ktoś w
We are
Londynie,
here
kto nie
at
zna
the request
Sherlocka?
of the Bishop.
In that case, I must ask you to leave. And not to touch anything. I must get in touch with the authorities without further delay.
Pójdziesz
Reverend,
stąd.
when the inspectors of Scotland Yard find themselves at a dead end, which they quite often do, I assure you, then they turn to me for help. If you will allow us to continue
Jak chcesz na
our
to patrzeć, to nie patrz,
investigation,
to wyjdź.
then you shall have the answers to
Profesjonaliści
your
będą
questions.
pracować.
Out of the question. I don't even know you. I'm going to call the
Jak
police
nie
whether you
znasz?
like it or not.
It would be better for everyone, Reverend, if you kept your temper.
Se gazet
Watson, are you
poczytaj.
taking notes? This affair promises to be a complex one.
Nie uruchomił.
Therefore, we must not overlook the slightest detail.
Yes, Holmes. I am keeping a meticulous set of notes. I have created a very clever deduction board. One thing we can be sure of at the moment is that this crime was not for gain. The Reverend has informed us that nothing valuable was stolen. And indeed, it would seem that the bishop had nothing of any worth
Albo
to take.
ktoś się pomylił,
Very
albo
good,
po
Watson.
prostu
Do continue.
ksiądz za dużo wiedział, biskup. Biskup nic nie posiadał. No i fajnie. Dobra, moi mili, ale tą sprawę rozpoczniemy już w następnym odcinku. Przeszliśmy taki prolog, samouczek. Mam nadzieję, że się podobało. Jeśli tak, zostawcie kciuka w górę i niedługo rozwiążemy kolejne sprawy. Będzie ich sporo. Także trzymajcie się. Do usłyszenia. Cześć.